Hey, what's up, guys? So I think I got it working. I don't know. We'll see. I also got to set up the chat real quick. But yeah, just making some frags. Wanted to hang out for a little bit. Kind of getting the camera set up. Make sure we're good. All right. Let me go ahead and turn on the other device. Hope everybody is doing well. Happy Sunday. Let me go and see if I can find myself on YouTube. See if it's live. All right. There we go. All right, cool. So, I'm gonna get the chat going. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, huh? It's been a long time. But anyways, I got a bunch of coral to cut, so I figured I'd go ahead and see if I can adjust the screen. Let me see if I can get this to work. Orientation lock. Please rotate the back. Let's check and see. Can I change it? Can I change it? Maybe. I really like that. They don't let you do it in portrait mode, huh? That's no fun. Alright, well let me adjust this since it does not want me to do it the other way. I don't know. Usually the camera lets me move it. Alright, we'll see if that works. I don't know if it's gonna, but we're gonna try. I don't know if that's gonna work, but hey, let me know if the video looks alright. Super crooked, but hey, that's what we got going on. Anyways, it's just kind of a hangout. The live stream doesn't let me rotate it the other way for whatever reason. So, anyways, just kind of hanging out, doing cutting some frags. As you guys know, I got that sale going on this next couple of weeks, so I've had a bunch ready for the sale, but I have to get in here and turn up to 300 anyways. So that's what I'm doing today. And I just cut up some Monty, some red Monties. So we're gonna put them on some plugs. Get going. So how was everybody's 4th of July? I finally saw all the videos that people were posting of lighting off fireworks in the wrong place, all the things that people do when they're drunk and playing with fireworks. So I didn't actually go anywhere this year. I kind of just stayed home, and I had to catch up on some work, so I didn't really go anywhere. So turn the volume down on this. But yeah, so if you guys can hear me, let me know. We'll go from there. But yeah, so I'm just gonna frag. I was gonna put some music on, but last time I did a live stream and I put music on, they ended up flagging the video, so I couldn't actually upload it. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. So that's kind of the way it is with YouTube. If you put any, because I like to run the Pandora in the background on the speaker, but unfortunately, if you do any of that here on YouTube, they end up flagging the video. So, try not to do any of that. I got another bottle, so you won't hear me smacking too long, but what's up, man? Hotter than balls. That's an interesting name, man. Well, you're not wrong. I ended up delaying a lot of shipping. Let me switch this bottle out because that tapping's already going. I'm delaying quite a few coral orders a couple weeks ago because we ended up having it was like 93, the lowest here, and then it went up to 102, and I was like, well, if you guys know anything about shipping coral, it's cool and all up until about 85 degrees. I don't ship past 85 if I can help it. Even though I put in an extra heat pack, it's still, I don't know. And it's super hard to regulate. And then you got to compensate for wherever the coral's going itself. What plugs am I using? So I make my own frag plugs with a printer. So this is the 1-inch. Hopefully you can see it. And then I use the 3/4 inch, the acro plug. So I can set an acro. Now you guys see that a little bit. But for like Monty caps and any kind of encrusting Monties or anything like that, I like to use the 1-inch. You can find them on the website if you want. They're relatively cheap. But and no, they do not float. I know a lot of people ask. It's all about that infill. But yeah, so I'm just going to be cutting up some coral for a little bit, hanging out. I got the saw all fixed. I know some of you guys were asking about that 3D printed, so I use the diamond saw band, this little joker right here, this diamond saw. So the wheel has a bearing issue like the standard stock wheel, so I end up 3D printing one and putting a ball bearing in there. And I haven't had any issues, it's been working really well. But, did anybody end up doing anything fun for 4th of July? Did you guys go anywhere cool? I was invited to go tubing, but I haven't done that since I was a kid. And I was like, well, I had enough sun when I went to Puerto Rico last month, so I think I'm good with being in the sun that long. I got roasted out there, man. So not only was it the first time I ever was in the ocean, but I ended up I got sunburned like there was no tomorrow. And then I ended up getting an ear infection, which was an issue when I was flying home. My ears wouldn't regulate on the plane, so when I landed, I ended up having to go to the VA like, as soon as I landed to be able to take care of the ear infection. What aren't you 3D printing? Isn't that the truth, man? I do a whole bunch of stuff, so I got a lot of companies reaching out now, which is kind of odd. I guess over time you build a reputation, I suppose. But I got a lot of companies reaching out to do prototypes and like do some designs for them and stuff. And I've been doing that a lot. So my own personal things have kind of come I fell behind a little bit, but the prototypes are good. So I'm gonna go and toss these in the frag tank real quick, and I'll be right back. So, like I mentioned in the video yesterday, I got to cut up some of these bird's nest frags. So these are ridiculous. it's crazy how fast this bird's nest grows. It's one of those things that I really liked about the 125 when I started selling coral. Like it takes off. So I got to get in here and frag these up and make little frags. So that's what we're gonna do. It's pretty simple. Basically, whatever I can fit in the bag, I kind of leave there. So and I just kind of cut off the extra. Oh, it looks like I gotta re-glue that whole thing. But I try to leave a pretty decent chunk that will still fit in the bag. So that will still fit in the bag just fine. So I'll just cut off the base and I'll make another frag of that. And that's pretty much all it comes down to is whatever can fit in the bag. And I'll show you guys those here in a second. Weight-wise, I like to use these bags instead of cups because I can fit more in a box. I can use a smaller box, less water, and it's easier to keep cool, plus it's less shipping overall. So whatever I can fit in this bag, obviously this isn't happening. It's just not going to fit. So it's whatever I can fit. So that's where the whole fragging comes in. So this will be fine. That will fit in the bag. And then just kind of trim this guy up. So frag and frags. And I guarantee some of them that I'm making today will be joining the fragging frag at some point, depending on how quickly they sell. So that good. And I'm just gonna pull off this edge. That should fit in the bag. Maybe not. All right, that will fit in the bag. I'm going to grab some plugs. Let's see what we got here. Got Ate Alive by Mosquitoes, Michigan, Upper Peninsula, 4th of July. We are relentless. Mosquitoes, I am not a fan, man. I guess they say you have to have, I don't know if it's just a saying, but you have to have certain blood for them to like you. But every time I go out near any body of water, so if I go camping or anything like that with the boys, it's relentless. You're right. I come back swollen. They are rough, so that should fit just fine. That's good. Do you disinfect plugs or anything contacting the corals. What do you mean? Explain. I'm just grabbing a few more of these. What do you mean disinfect? Okay, so that one, that's good. You mean, so I provide dip with all of my corals, if that's what you mean. I'm not sure if that's what you meant by it. Yeah, so I always send 5 milliliters of dip. I can show you guys what I use. I used to do the blue bottle, but now I just get Revive in bulk. And then I ship out 5 milliliters of this stuff with every coral order, just because it's just the right thing to do. And a lot of you guys aren't buying dip for whatever reason, so yeah. I think that's a pain. That's a little bit of a. How's that feel? Will that fit in the bag? Yeah, that will fit in the bag. So good, good. So that's enough frags. I'll make those up. So let's see what the question is here. So the question, I have a large branch staghorn acrovax. I'd like to frag. Does it matter where I frag it? Not really. Obviously, the bigger the piece. So let's just take a piece of this, for example. Let's take this little guy here, all right, and let's take this one. Okay, so they're both frags, right? So the likelihood that this one would survive over this one is more. Like this, the bigger the frag, the likelihood that it's going to survive. So if I was to just take this little frag and I was to cut off this little nub, right, the chances that that's going to survive is pretty slim. I mean, it still will, depending on the environment, but you're going to better your odds with bigger frags. So I suggest just trying to get, inch frags, 1.5 inches. That seems to be pretty standard. People appreciate that too, because if you're paying, say you're paying $25 for this, or you see a picture of this on the website and it's $25, like, oh man, I'm definitely getting that. And then you get this, you're going to be upset. The only reason why I cut this is because eventually it will grow to this, and then I can sell it. So that's the only reason why it's that small. It's not going to be on the website anytime soon. But yeah, so it's just kind of the bigger the frag, I feel, the stronger that it is, the longer or the better chance that it's going to survive. So these acrocoats are pretty cool. And they work really well. Let's see what we got here. Mosquitoes hate peppermint. Use this Scope mouthwash or even hang peppermint. I did not know that. I voted for a new government in UK. I dip coral. I dip every coral purchase. Never know. Yeah. When it comes to corals, I think pest-wise, the only thing that really terrifies me is the nudibranchs, Acropora or Montipora. That's really the only pests that I've ever encountered that actually I'm worried about. Everything else can be taken care of. Red bugs. I don't know if they even call them black bugs anymore, but like flatworms and stuff like that. I don't care about those. Aptasia, I don't care about those. There's natural predators and stuff like that. It is what it is. Those things don't really concern me, but it's the nudibranchs, the things that actively eat your corals in front of you. Those are the kind of pests that I really worry about. So basically, when I buy Montipora or I buy Acropora from anybody, I'll never buy it from a store, a local fish store. I will buy Easy SPS from a local fish store, or Goniopora, or like the Group's Gorgonian. Like, I'll buy something like that from the local fish store just because it could be taken care of during quarantine. But I won't buy Montes or Acros from the local fish store, just because even if they're going in quarantine, I don't like the risk. I just, the eggs could be on there, things like that. And this is my personal opinion, by the way, because I'm not saying this is what you have to do. But so that means when I buy Acros and Montes, I buy them from local guys. I see their tanks in person. I can visualize the base of the colonies. I can see the health of the coral before I purchase. Those are the things that I'm looking for. Now, not everybody can do that, I understand. But reputable source on those two types of corals, at least for me. Because, like I said, if an Acropora eating nudibranch got into my 300, I'd be in a lot of trouble. My business would be in trouble. I like to think of my reef tank, and I think anybody who grows coral should think of it like this. Your reef tank is like a savings account. you're obviously putting into it every day when you're working on it, all that kind of stuff, and eventually you get to withdraw some money from that, and that's when you sell coral, right? So if I put in an acroport eating nudibranch, well, there goes my savings account. But yeah, just food for thought. What I mean is pathogens on plugs on your hands that can affect or harm or kill new corals. I never kept corals before. Might be a silly question. Okay, so what I did, what you didn't see on camera here, is obviously I always wash my hands with Dawn soap, warm water, rinse them off, all that kind of stuff. Make sure there's no soap residue. And if I were to go use the latrine or go do something, say work on my car, I would clean my hands before doing any of this. So I just wash my hands good, dry them off good, and there's no worries. This stuff right here is just an instant set. I mean, you can make it yourself, and it just causes the glue to harden a little bit quicker, so I can get them in the frag tank. But yeah, I wouldn't really worry about that kind of stuff. I think most of the things that are going to get into your tank that are bad are usually from the air. Say you got like an air freshener or something sitting by the tank spraying, or your RODI system because you didn't change the filters. That seems to be the most common thing. Salts, very rarely are you going to run into an issue with a salt, but I've never experienced dirty hands causing an issue. I think most people are pretty smart about, if you're out doing an oil change and you have oil residue on your hands, that's going to take a couple days to get off. You're probably not going to go stick your hand in your $50,000 reef tank, right? You're probably not going to do that. So just kind of common sense as well. Hopefully that answers the questions or clarifies it a little bit for you. So this looks like that should fit in the bag. So basically with these plugs, you just take a little bit of glue, hopefully I can show you, and you just put a little dab of glue in there. Then you put your frag, which goes down into the hole, and this one I'm going to have to spray because it's a little top heavy. I'm getting low on spray. So once it's kind of good, it's good to go. They have a little hole in there. But yeah, so actually, speaking of 3D printing, I am replacing my printer. So I started 3D printing 4 years ago. I built all my printers. I have 27 of them right now, 28. I don't know. There's some upstairs too. So I built all of them by hand from an Ender 3 Pro base, and I built everything. All the bed leveling, all the computers, Raspberry Pis, everything from the very, very beginning. And those $1,000 printers are good. They still work, but I just finally got rid of my very first printer that I've been running from the beginning. I finally just replaced it with a $200 printer that I get custom made, and it's $200 and it works just as good as my $1,000 one. It's just crazy how technology has changed over the last 4 years. It's unbelievable, honestly. But it's fine because my printers pay for themselves relatively quickly. But I guess that 4-year one, $1,000 printer, and it ran 24 hours, pretty much 24/7 for 4 years. So like I said, it paid for itself, 1,000 times over. But it's just interesting to see how the world has changed, and how I just replaced it with a $200 printer. It's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and toss these in the tank real quick. I'm going to grab some more, and I'll be right back. All right, what do I want to cut? I should really get into the 300 today and start fragging that up. But I have all these frags that need to be fragged. So this is the Jason Fox Limelight Hydnophora. And you can see that the plug it's grown over. So now it's growing onto the egg crate. So I have to get in here and trim it one way or another. I gotta get a paper towel too. I'm getting all slimed on. So in this case, I'll come in. Usually I use the saw, which we'll see how it breaks off. I might use the saw. But I'll come in here and just trim it up a little bit. That's fine. Try to leave a little bit of juice on there. But I mean, they're just overgrown completely. So fun fact, I'm actually going out to IBJJF tournament in a couple weeks in Virginia. It's my first IBJJF, so I'm kind of worried about. I'm not worried. I'm just anxious about how that's going to turn out. I think I'm going to do 205 to 208 weight class. I haven't decided yet. I mean, it's still a little chunky right now, but yeah, I definitely got to cut weight if I'm going to do these higher end tournaments to 200 pounds. But let me go ahead and toss these in here real quick. What's the question we got there? Can you have the printers automated? Like when a print is done, it clears the plate and starts again. You can, but I don't have that. Just because that's not how my business works. I know some people do that, but that's not how it works for me. What I do is every time I have an order come in, I notify the customer that it's in line to be printed, and then once I get an available printer for whatever color or type of filament it is, I'll put it on there. I'll go into my computer for Raspberry Pi, and then I will click on whatever item is being printed. It will be done, and then I'll just come back in the allotted time, take it off, snap it off the plate, and print the next item. But yes, you can program it to finish the print, clear it, and do that. And again, it's not something that I personally do, just because I offer 450 some odd items, 3D printed items right now. I think we're over that at this point. And with that, not many things are already printed. Everything's kind of made to order, just because I don't really have a choice. Because I do offer red, white, blue, orange, and black. So, I mean, I used to have 12 colors. I kind of cut it down to the America colors. But at the end of the day, I can't have everything already made. But because the amount of printers I have and the way I've changed things around in the system, I can make things relatively quickly. So, right now my turnaround time is less than a week on most items. I mean, if you order $300 in 3D printing, that's probably not going to be done in a week. That's just being realistic. But if you're ordering like a CO2 scrubber attachment or a wall mount or a pump guard or something like that, most likely be done within a week and then shipped out. That's kind of been the biggest struggle with the business, is just trying to keep up with the amount of orders coming in, and which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to complain about a blessing, that's for sure. But it's just, I've had to adjust my thought process and how I approach things in that aspect. Not only that, but also my customer service. Listen, I know my flaws as a human. Well, I tend to. I guess I try to. But my customer service is it's good for the most part. But I usually start off an interaction based off of kind of how you started the conversation. So if you start screaming at me, it usually doesn't end well. I've been pretty good about it though. I'm getting there. Better than I was 4 years ago. I'm gonna spray these real quick. Would you ever do a resin printer? I don't like resin just because of the chemicals. Now, granted, my 3D printers are all vented outside. Some people say you don't have to vent them. I keep my printers vented for two reasons, or closed for two reasons. So if you guys notice, there's plastic around them. So I keep them like that, for one, to keep the heat in, so the electrical bill is the electric bill is a little less, because the printers don't always have to be continuously heating up, because it's pretty hot within the plastic, with 12 printers in one plastic area printing up. And with that, the heat, whatever rises, like whatever chemical smell or whatever gets pulled to the top and then sucked outside through my vent. So I run 4 vents in here to pull out any kind of chemicals or whatever might be coming off it, because you are melting plastic. So I think because they're relatively new, there hasn't been a ton of research on it. But me personally, I'm not a fan of breathing in plastic. So it's a win-win. I get the chemicals out, I feel better about it, and I also keep the heat in for the most part, which is good for the electric bill. Love my Limelight, one of the brightest greens in my tank. Yeah, Limelight corals are great. So I made a few frag, nothing crazy. Just a few. I'm going to go ahead and toss them in the tank real quick. I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I got to cut some of this green digi up. I just grabbed a handful of it while I was in there. Look at the size of these green digi frags. So yes, I'm not gonna make them all, but look at this. This is unnecessary. Look at this. This is unnecessary. This is probably not gonna fit in a bag. I mean, maybe. That's stupid. Where the heck's my ruler? This thing is insane. This is a frag of digi, and this is, even though I sell quite a bit of it, this dude was just chilling in the back. So from base, so this is a 5.5 inch frag of digi, just chilling. Yeah, so obviously you got to frag that up a little bit. Digi's pretty easy. So I have about, oh my god, I probably got like another 20 of these in there. I got to cut up. So green digi is probably one of the fastest corals to grow, period. So I'm gonna just, that's good. I'm just gonna whack off a few tops of this. But yeah, I love this stuff too. Unfortunately, I think, I don't think I even have a frag of this in the tank. Really? I guess not. I'm looking at the 300 right now. I don't even have green digi in my tank. I don't think. I don't see it anywhere. It doesn't matter since I have about 1 million of it in the frag tank. But still, one of my favorite corals. And I think the reason why they all grew up straight like that was because they were reaching for the light. I'm guessing. This looks pretty good. All right. I'll do some of that. I don't think I even have enough room. If I was to cut up, basically now that I'm cutting up frags, I have to look at the frag tank and see what room I have. So I can cut up all the giant pieces of digi, no problem. But the issue is that do I have a place to put all the new frags? Granted, I do have about 20 orders of coral going out this next couple days, which will free up a good amount of room, but still, where are they going to hang out? So does anybody in the chat here, any of you guys grow and sell your own coral? Or go to like sell at frag shows and stuff? Which, by the way, I wish I could do that more. I haven't done that in a few years, actually. Gone and set up a booth or a table and a frag tank and sold coral. Can't, you know. I think the only reason why I don't do it is because it's a a lot of work to set up a frag tank at one of these shows, and I could just sell this stuff online, get the same amount sold in one day, and not have to drag 20 gallons of water, a frag tank, or any of the stuff with that. But now I am missing out on the socialization and the networking and all that stuff. So I guess I should probably go to another show at some point. What's up, Travis? Good to see you on a live. Looking forward to my order. Hope all is well. Thank you. Appreciate the support. I was so every 4th of July, I was just speaking of the order. Every 4th of July, I like to do some kind of sale, and I'm trying to look back and see what I did last year. I'm pretty sure I do 50% every 4th of July. Almost positive, I do 50%, and that means a $300 pack of corals, which is 15 corals mixed. I'm gonna have to spray this guy. Mixed is usually $300 shipped. Now you'll get the it'd be $150 right before shipping. So the only thing is once you're down below the 300, you no longer qualify for the free shipping. But most people are just buying more coral and getting to the 300. So basically getting double the amount of coral and having it shipped for free, which. Shipping to California, I know what happened to that. That price went up through the roof. Roughly, so right now, I think, 15 frags to ship to California is like $70 overnight. That's with 85% discount through the business. So granted, it's $300 pack, and then, you get the, the shipping, so at the end of the day, the profit margin isn't a ton, but because I grow this stuff myself, I don't mind taking a hit. I really don't. It's not a big deal. So at the end of the day, if I make $200 on a $300 order after shipping, I'm fine with that because again, I just grew this stuff here. And at the end of the day, it costs $210 to run my reef tank and my frag tanks every month, electric-wise. We're not talking about food or anything like that. We're not talking about supplementation or anything like that. Salt, but electrical alone is $220-ish. Last time I calculated it with the Apex. So really, at the end of the day, it's you know, a lot of people are stickler about price and charging, you know, so much money, and you know, here I come in, you know, doing 50% off, already a good deal. But like I said, I grow this stuff here, and you know, I do get emails every once in a while, people being pissed off. You're lowering the value on the market, blah 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 blah. Listen, I don't care. I don't care. It's my coral, and I will I'll do what I want. Let's see. Let me spray these. Be good to go. It's just like there's a couple companies out there. I won't say any names just because I don't want to get into it too much. But there's a couple companies out there that literally rip off all my 3D printing stuff. Most of it. They'll go in, they'll pull up, they'll take the idea, they'll make their own, change up like just a slight diameter or something, and then sell it as their own. It happens all the time. So I'm used to it at this point. It's just just send me a, hey, what's up, man, about to steal your shit. Just wanted you to know. Let's see here. I have 200 candy cane corals and Duncans with over 75 branches. Yeah, you want to see, let me get that candy cane. Let me throw these jokers in the frag tank. I'm going to show you that candy cane colony. It is done. It is done. All right, let me grab it. Get some water off of this thing. Okay, I'm going to show you guys real quick before it gets out. But so this is my candy cane colony. Ridiculous. I don't know how many heads are on that. It's just a whole new world. There's probably a fish in there at this point. But yeah, so this is one of 3, and I gotta frag that up at some point. I'm going to cut up this last coral and call it a day because I only got 15% left on my chat, so I probably got a few minutes. So this is Chip Pavona, I believe it's called. It's an SPS coral. It's actually like a neon greenish kind of color. So I'm going to frag up some of this just because it is pretty popular. It's one of the biggest pain in the butts to frag, if I'm going to be honest with you. It just doesn't ever break where you want it to. So I'm going to knock off some of this. At this point, I probably should just see what happens. See, these are very difficult pieces to frag. I usually put them in acro plugs. I think that's good. That's gonna make quite a few frags. And I have 3 colonies that are that size. So like I said, I don't always have everything in the frag, everything in the display. Yeah, what are you spraying on the frags? A glue hardener? Yeah, I'll show a close-up view of it. It's just the BRS instant set stuff. Am I on camera here? I don't know. Hopefully you can see it. There's a pretty big delay. All right. Yeah, I still get the BRS glue because it's pretty much the best bang for your buck, even though the price went up on their website. But it's still the best bang for your buck if you're going to go glue-wise. If you're fragging a lot of stuff, I'm sure the dollar store still sells glue, like little squeezy jiggers. But for the most bang for your buck, BRS is the way to go on that. Speaking of that, I just placed an order. I had even though I added those remag chips to my calcium reactor, it's still at 1300 ppm of magnesium, so I got to get that up. So I ordered some of that 2-part. You know, when you do 2-part, you have your calcium, alkalinity, and then you have your 3rd part, magnesium. So I just buy the 3rd part separately, dose it every few months. I put in a gallon, almost 2 gallons. I think I ordered 2 gallons worth. So I'll probably do 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons of that, and that raises the level. Now, of course, I don't dump it all at one time. I'll do a 1/2 gallon at a time. Let it sit, let the Trident test, see where my levels are, and then I'll make the adjustment from there. But usually it's 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons every time I make an adjustment from 1300 ppm. So Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah. So I think I'm just gonna finish up these frags here and head out. Unless you guys got questions or anything you want to talk about. Basically, it's just a work day for me. Every day's a work day. It's either jujitsu, the kids, or work, or all three at the same time. So I'm also teaching now, which is nice. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 3 days a week, which is good. I enjoy it. Yeah, it's fun. It's different, but it's fun. I'm trying to think. So these are the hardest frags to make because it's not like an acro that has a distinct end that sits in the plug, right? So I try to find the pointiest part, put some glue in there, and get it in the hole, add a little bit more glue, and hope it stays. That's basically the process of fragging chip pona. There we go. So I sold my, I don't know if I mentioned this on these, I don't really put much out, personal stuff up on YouTube or anything like that, but I ended up selling my Ford Explorer before I went to Puerto Rico. Basically, it was a 2016, and it's just the problems in that thing. Like, I bought the warranty with it, so I only had a $500 deductible, but I felt like I was going to the mechanic all the time. And before that, I had an F-150, and that was off-road, Raptor style, everything. It was beautiful, but it just rusted. It was 2010. It rusted out completely. So I ended up getting rid of it and trading it in for the SUV like a year and a half ago. But anyways, this thing, I've been to the mechanic so many times, and I was just like, really? And then the turbo started going bad on it. They were like whining, whistling, weird. It was just not good. So, and I've had turbocharged cars many, many times, so I knew the sound wasn't good. So anyways, I went to the dealer, and I was like, let me look at another truck. So I ended up getting a 2021 blue, like the lighter blue F-150, and the crew cab. And this thing's got more cameras than I know what to do with. It's crazy. But anyways, it's the 3.5 EcoBoost, which I was kind of hesitant about, but it gets amazing gas mileage. It was like 26 the other day, just cruising on the highway. And then it has this adaptive cruise control, so it basically can drive itself. And then it yells at you when you take your hand off the steering wheel. So, but anyways, I'm glad I got rid of the Ford Explorer. That thing was driving me nuts. It was getting expensive. It just seemed constantly going to the mechanic. So if anybody's had a Ford Explorer, maybe I'm not the only one that ran into that issue. But I'm back in a truck, thankfully. I missed it too. I just, when I want to move something, I don't want to buy a trailer. I just want to put it in the back of the truck and then move it and not have to go to U-Haul and rent the trailer. So, yeah. Let's see here. Personal-wise, that's about it. Blessing Travis locked in from Trinidad. What time is it there? The Ford Mavericks hybrids are great on mileage. Just sucks for off-roading. The Ford Mavericks is I don't even know what the heck that is. That's the truck? I don't think I even remember. I don't remember. I can't even put I should probably Google it. I'm trying to put an image in. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Is that an SUV or a truck? I know they have the Ford Lightning. Isn't that the electric one? The Lightning? I don't know. I've always been an F-150 or an F-250 guy. I never really had any other truck. Even my first truck was a Ford. I crashed that 2 days after basic training. That was stupid. Man, that was dumb. I was 17 years old, driving on a back road, and then the back tire blew out on it, and I went flying, and it burnt up at the bottom of the hill. And I only had it for like 2 days. I got home from basic training, bought it for my stepdad, and then totaled it 2 days later. So that was my first Ford, for a little Ford Ranger, 1994 or 1995, something like that. So, it's a mid-sized truck. I'll have to look it up. I know that the Lightning is the electric one. I think it's all electric, right? I don't think they have any. I don't think it's a hybrid. I do know that they make an F-150 hybrid. That like when you brake, it charges a battery and it goes. I don't really know too much about it, but I didn't go with it. I was going to go with a 5.0, but I was like, well, let's try the 3.5. I know the turbos. They fixed the turbo issues. They did a lot of changes for 2021, so I was like, let me give it a shot. But and it was kind of the only. And this is stupid. So the 5.0 was in black, and I was like, I really want this blue. It's like the lighter blue. And I was like, listen, you probably shouldn't make big financial decisions based on color, but I really wanted the blue. So yeah, I'll probably regret that at some point. But yeah, I really like the blue. But anyways, I think that's about it. I think I'm done fragging for now. I gotta go. So when I said I dumped the frags in the frag tank, I didn't just take them one by one and put them in the frag tank. I literally dumped them in their own little piles. So I gotta go organize that. But anyways, I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I can do this more often if you want. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, and I will get back to you. I do try to do a Q&A a couple times a week for you guys, and with the holiday I didn't do this past week, but I will get one out this coming week for you. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you in the next video, okay? And be safe, and happy belated 4th of July. All right, peace.